Hello, everybody. This is the Lucky TJ at Discover the I Am within you to improve your life. And I want to talk to you today about something that I believe would help you to know about, perhaps. And there's always somebody that's going to find some kind of value in every message that any of us has. So I'm talking about today the subject of forgiveness, and how this morning I was able to take some time. I didn't have anything I needed to rush and get up for at the time that I woke up, and I laid in bed with my eyes closed, and I do this thing called a treatment, and that is it's probably like what some people do when they get up and pray or meditate or do whatever whatever thing they do to communicate with spirit to start the day off. But for me, I lay in bed with my eyes closed, although I'm awake, and I usually repeat some words and that I find very helpful. And as I repeat those words and feel the meaning of what I'm saying, I notice that it draws that energy to me. Like whatever I may have been wanting to start thinking about, what I might want to accomplish, or things from yesterday or whatever, when I focus intentionally on something else, then I find that it really helps my energy, and I start off with a clean slate. And shortly into my what I call treatment, I started thinking about forgiveness, because I had been feeling extremely tense and worked up for the last couple of days. I was talking with a friend, and we think maybe we're both detoxing after having taken some very intense healing classes, and sometimes that happens. I also know that in general, I have been putting out to the universe that there's some changes that I'm having, and I know that at times when changes are being requested, whatever's in the way of that change will come up. So yesterday I had a particularly, more than usual for me, stressful day. I had not meditated very long in the morning. I needed to hurry up and get out, so I meditated a short period of time, even though I did my treatment, and I found that my emotions were like just out of balance, out of center, and I had felt really angry at something really like small. I noticed that, and I was able to not act on that anger. Well, obviously I wasn't going to act on it because it was like, too much anger and not any real reason. But my point is about forgiveness and what a powerful tool forgiveness is. Like, forgiveness is a master tool. It's a master tool. And how to apply forgiveness is something else I was wanting to talk about. And how I do it, which maybe you can tell me how you do it. But how I do it, or did it this morning in particular, was that as I laid there in my bed, very quiet, very relaxed, I just started focusing on forgiving everything that was coming up. So it was things that were coming up, like forgiving, I was feeling, so I noticed, like, when I'm feeling pissed off or annoyed or angry, stressed out about whatever it is, those are things that I get to forgive, whether it's in myself, other people, for events, situations, whatever things that are in my energy field in my mind and my heart that are not in the loving space, where the loving space is where things that are really great can be created from. It's an energy, but the other space brings more of that. And so, any energy I'm putting out is going to come back to me multiplied. That's part of the law of the universe. And I believe that, and I accept that, and it is being what I see is true. What I focus on expands, all these things. So my point is about forgiveness and how I was forgiving, like there's a company I've been putting a little money into, and they had a webinar, and I didn't hear some of the answers that I wanted, and it was late last night, so I was forgiving that, forgiving them, forgiving that I was up late, forgiving guilt that I ate too much yesterday, or didn't do this or that yet, or whatever things come up. Everyone has whatever stuff that they are holding on to. I'm sure that I'm not the only person. So whatever that I've been holding on to, that I noticed, I realized I was feeling as though there's more I could be in better relationships with people, particularly my relatives. I haven't been the kind of aunt to my nieces and nephews that I wish I had been, and I still can be. What else about forgiveness? So the energy of forgiveness is an energy that is very healing. It's like a balm. It's very soothing. It's like a salve. Like, I noticed, like, when I started applying forgiveness, my body started relaxing and releasing tension, and releasing tension in my back, or in my feet, or my neck, shoulders, my face. Just forgiving, and it was thing after thing after thing. I noticed that I was noticing that I've just had accumulated conversations where someone said, I felt minimized because somebody, discounted. Somebody said, when I said something, and the person said, well, psychologically, and I was thinking, no, not psychologically. Like, yeah, I actually, my senses are keen, and I can perceive things with my feelings and my sight or my hearing, perceptions. I'm not sure how tuned in everybody else is, but I do notice small things. Like, I'll give you an example. It was like if I get an oil change, I can feel the difference when I'm driving. It feels not as sluggish. That's how I know I need an oil change, aside from the time, the amount of time that's passed since the last one, because the vehicle acts a little not as peppy, just different. I can tell the difference between the flavor of one banana versus another one, organic versus non-organic. So I can tell the difference between lots of stuff that maybe other people just can't. I don't know. I do know that what happened when this person told me psychologically that I maybe psychologically could tell the difference between an oil change or not, I felt discounted and a little pissed off. And when I say pissed off, I don't mean like I'm raging and want to strike a person. I just mean that I noticed there's an undercurrent of something that I'm holding, and I think that is the important part to recognize, that it doesn't have to be that I feel and I'm going to kill somebody, or go get a gun, or blow up anybody, or strike a person, or anything like that. It's the feelings of slight hurts that kind of other people would say, well, get over it, or whatever. It's easy to say, get over it. How do you get over it is the real question. It's important to heal and release these things, these tensions. Not just tell yourself you're over it. I know I used to tell myself that, yeah, I'm over that. But I wouldn't be over it. I'd be storing a little piece of negative energy, like anger or something. I'd store it someplace. And the place where it gets stored, from what I can tell, whatever people say, is it gets stored in the body. So it's being a wonderful thing to heal and release these things. I feel a lot happier doing any of the work that I tell you that I'm doing. When I do forgiveness work, any energy work, whatever it is I'm doing, I'm feeling better than I ever dreamed possible in my life. I always thought that I would be unhappy. I guess I must have thought that, because I'm certainly just really freed up now, and I feel like I have so much more power at my disposal and tools to be able to release faster things that I would have taken 3 years to release just naturally. Like when I'd be angry with someone, or if I released it at all, or hurt feelings. That's a real big one. Hurt about, whatever stuff. People, or scared. Like people are scared. To me, sometimes I perceive people as scary. Like when they raise their voice, and I'm, like there's a part of me that I'm not used to it, and I'm like, oh, what's happening? So anyway, as far as forgiveness goes, use forgiveness. It's a master tool, and I'd love to have a conversation about it. So I'm thinking maybe one day in a couple of weeks, I'd like to have a webinar where, and maybe I'll have a panelist, because there's several people I know are working on forgiveness as a tool, and there's some good books out. My best friend is using a book called Forgive for Good by, I don't remember the author's name, maybe Harcum, I'm not remembering. Anyway, but there's a lot of people working on forgiveness, and there's a lot of value to forgiveness. So I just want to share that technique with you, and invite you to share yours. Take a look at forgiveness, forgive, and let us know how you do it. All right. So have a great day, and peace out.